Right, we've got some big breaking news and it comes from Manchester United. Our reporter Daniel Kahn has joined us on set. Daniel, what is this big breaking news?
This is huge news for Manchester United, Tom. They are close to an agreement with Brighton and Hove Albion for the signing of midfielder Carlos Baleba, someone they have long admired for well over 12 months.
What's going on, Reds? Welcome back to United Focus. Big transfer update out of Old Trafford today. Manchester United are closing in on a major midfield addition. Contract talks are underway for one of the club's most important players, and there's a clear shift happening in what United are prioritising before the window shuts. Let's break it all down. Let's start with the headline news. Manchester United are reportedly close to a full agreement with Brighton for midfielder Carlos Baleba. According to reports, United already have a 5-year contract prepared and waiting for Baleba to sign the moment the club-to-club deal is formally wrapped up. The final fee and structure are still being ironed out, but the transfer is expected to land north of £60 million. The 22-year-old is said to be preparing to travel up to Manchester, with medical arrangements ready to be scheduled quickly once everything is finalised on the club side. This one's been a long time coming. Sky Sports News has been reporting on United's interest in Baleba going all the way back to last autumn, and it was Sky who first revealed United made an inquiry about signing him during the January transfer window. So this is very much the culmination of a chase that's been running for the best part of a year. Injury update. Baleba is currently working his way back from an ankle ligament injury picked up during pre-season. The good news for United fans, that issue isn't considered serious and he's not expected to be sidelined for an extended period. His Brighton career, Baleba joined the Seagulls from Lille back in the summer of 2023 and has racked up 112 appearances for the club. Last season he featured 35 times, with several absences coming while he was away representing Cameroon at the Africa Cup of Nations. If this deal goes through, Baleba would become United's third midfield addition of the summer, joining Andrey Santos and Youri Tielemans as new faces in that engine room. So why the persistence? According to United correspondent Laurie Whitwell, after United explored a deal for Baleba last summer, he actually went through a tough campaign at Brighton. But reporting back in April suggested a move was still very much on the table, largely because of how impressive his first 2 seasons in the Premier League had been, along with strong underlying performance data. United also had eyes on him during the Africa Cup of Nations, watching him play alongside current United forward Bryan Mbeumo for Cameroon. And by most accounts, Baleba had a positive tournament across 5 matches. From a data standpoint, United reportedly rate him highly across ground coverage, ability to win back possession, and passing, all qualities that fit the identity Michael Carrick appears to be building in midfield. And here's an interesting wrinkle. Because Baleba is left-footed, there's also a belief internally that he could provide emergency cover at left-back if needed, which, as we'll get to in a minute, happens to be a position United are actively trying to strengthen. Midfield has been the single biggest focus for United this summer, and Baleba would slot into an already reshaped engine room. Youri Tielemans arrived from Aston Villa and Andrey Santos joined from Chelsea. United also had a deal agreed for Atalanta's Ederson, before ultimately pulling out over concerns about the Brazilian international's knee. On top of that, United were keen on Elliot Anderson, only to see the England international choose a move to rivals Manchester City instead. Should Baleba's move go through, he'd join Tielemans, Santos, Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes as first-team midfield options for Carrick to choose from. It's also worth noting the current injury situation in that department. Manuel Ugarte remains sidelined with the knee injury he suffered at the World Cup with Uruguay, while Mason Mount has missed United's final 2 pre-season games. So reinforcements here are arriving at a genuinely useful moment. Now here's a story that'll matter to every United fan. Negotiations over a new contract for club captain Bruno Fernandes are reportedly in progress, with both sides working toward an agreement soon. Fernandes has long been linked with interest from Galatasaray, as well as clubs in Saudi Arabia and elsewhere in Europe. But by all accounts, he continues to prioritise staying at Old Trafford. Talks are said to be covering salary, contract length, and importantly, his release clause, which was previously set at €65 million, but expired this summer. That release clause detail is a significant one to watch, since whatever number gets attached to a new deal will shape how vulnerable or protected United are from approaches for their captain going forward. According to Fabrizio Romano, United's overall transfer business has actually slowed down in recent weeks. After getting Santos and Tielemans through the door, the club made a conscious decision to pause, take stock and assess how the squad was performing through the rest of pre-season before pushing forward on further business. Certain situations, Romano notes, have simply needed more time to develop, which lines up with the Baleba pursuit finally reaching a conclusion now. What's next on the list? Left-back is described as United's main outstanding focus, with midfield still a secondary area to address even after this summer's incomings. And here's the interesting part. There's said to be real appeal in finding a player capable of covering both left-back and midfield, which loops right back to that detail about Baleba potentially offering cover at left-back if he arrives. On the departures side, Napoli have made an inquiry about United forward Joshua Zirkzee this summer. It's worth noting Napoli haven't limited their search to Zirkzee alone. They've also been looking into Chelsea's Nicolas Jackson and Arsenal's Gabriel Jesus, according to reports out of Italy. The catch for Napoli is that they need to sell before they can move for any new striker, so this one's likely to be a slow burner rather than something that develops quickly. So to sum it up, Reds, Baleba's move from Brighton looks to be entering its final stages. Bruno's future at the club looks to be heading toward a new long-term deal, and United's remaining business this summer is clearly zeroing in on that left-back spot, ideally with some midfield versatility thrown in. Let me know in the comments, are you excited about Baleba coming in, and who do you think United should be targeting for that left-back spot? Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. In other news, Fabrizio Romano gave a clear update on where things stand earlier this month, explaining on his YouTube channel that United currently view Hall as too expensive and that Newcastle have absolutely no intention of selling him. Romano pointed out that Newcastle have already lost several key figures this summer: Sandro Tonali to Tottenham, Anthony Gordon to Barcelona, Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal, and manager Eddie Howe as well, which is exactly why they're now determined to hold on to Hall no matter what. Romano did note, though, that only a genuinely extraordinary offer could change their stance, so it's a situation worth continuing to monitor. That's where the funding plan comes in. The Daily Mail report United are planning to sell both Amas and fellow academy graduate Toby Collier to help raise the necessary funds. According to the report, Czech goalkeeper Radek Vítek already left for Middlesbrough earlier this month in a deal worth around £14 million, including add-ons, a buyback clause and a 35% sell-on fee. Amas, who spent last season on loan at Sheffield Wednesday, could reportedly leave for a fee around £7 million, again with add-ons attached. Collier is also seen as a player who could command a decent fee, though the report notes United's return to European competition and the resulting fixture pile-up might actually persuade the club to keep hold of some fringe players for squad depth. Not everyone's convinced this is the right approach, though. United legend Paul Scholes has been vocal about preferring Amas stay at the club rather than United spending big on Hall. Scholes said, "That's a wrong decision buying Lewis Hall. We rather stay with Harry Amas. When you watch the two players, you can see that Amas is more talented than Hall. The club just needs to trust him. He can stay this season as the Luke Shaw backup and he becomes a starter next season." Scholes didn't stop there either, adding, "Of recent, Man United has been having a problem of not trusting youngsters from Carrington, just loaning them off and selling them at a giveaway price. Look at Barcelona, 50% of their squad is from their academy, and it hasn't stopped them from winning trophies. Kubasi has just won the Best Young Player of World Cup award. Man United should do the same." Now here's one that's raised plenty of eyebrows. Manchester United are set to reject what's being described as an audacious approach from Galatasaray for club captain Bruno Fernandes. According to The Independent, Galatasaray have launched a formal approach and are putting together a comprehensive financial package to try and tempt the 31-year-old away from Old Trafford. It's understood the Turkish club are determined to land a genuine superstar before the transfer window closes, in order to match the high-profile business already done by domestic rivals Fenerbahce and Besiktas this summer, and Fernandes has emerged as their number one target. United's response, though, is firm. Fernandes simply isn't for sale. Coming off a record-breaking Premier League assist campaign that helped secure United's return to the Champions League, he remains absolutely central to the club's plans going forward. Although Fernandes is technically in the final year of his current deal, United do hold a one-year extension option, and there's no appetite whatsoever to even entertain a departure on the eve of the new season. If anything, United are hoping to get him tied down to a fresh long-term contract given how important he's become to the side. Sticking with midfield business, Jamie Carragher has been critical of United's decision-making earlier in the window, suggesting they should have gone all in for Matheus Fernandes rather than settling for Youri Tielemans. Fernandes had been a genuine target for United earlier in the summer, but the club were unwilling to match the £85 million guaranteed fee that Tottenham eventually agreed with West Ham for the player. United instead opted for a bargain £35 million move for Tielemans from Aston Villa, after an earlier £43 million deal for Atalanta's Ederson collapsed following a failed medical. Michael Carrick has also strengthened his midfield options separately with the £50 million signing of Andrey Santos from Chelsea. Despite that business getting done relatively cheaply, Carragher believes United should have pushed harder and done everything possible to beat Tottenham to Fernandes instead. Beyond just the Amas and Hall situation, there's a wider strategic shift happening at United, according to the Daily Mail. The club are reportedly looking to follow the lead of several Premier League rivals by generating additional transfer revenue through selling academy players who haven't yet broken into the first team. This approach is already underway, evidenced by Radek Vitek's £14 million move to Middlesbrough, with further departures expected as United look to maximise value from their homegrown talent pool. Both Amas and Collier are mentioned again here as likely candidates, though as noted earlier, the increased fixture demands from Champions League qualification could ultimately convince the club to retain a few fringe players purely for squad rotation purposes. There's a big update on Marcus Rashford too. BBC Sport are reporting that he's now expected to stay at United this summer. It's a remarkable turnaround given how his Old Trafford career looked essentially finished last summer after being frozen out by then-manager Ruben Amorim. Prior to coming on for the final 30 minutes of a pre-season friendly against AC Milan in Wrocław, Rashford hadn't actually featured for the club since December 2024. He's spent the last 18 months out on loan, and while Barcelona had the option to make his stay at the new camp permanent, they ultimately decided against it.